Oh, do you? Welcome back, guys. That always makes me want to laugh, though, when I think about when I say welcome back, because here we are. We didn't go anywhere.
And it's funny because we have, like, in the setup in the studio, we have a like a, I don't know, what do you call this thing? A stream deck.
Oh, yeah.
And, like, the computer, which is right here, which is what I'm looking at to make sure everything's lined up right. But the stream deck, John, I wish I could show this thing to you, but it's hilarious because he's put little icons for, like, what the different shots are. And there's different, like, things that you got to click on that, you know, they might start something else, or they start a clock, or they move to this or that.
You could probably show it on the camera.
So it's funny because I feel like it's a learning process for me, but I don't know if I don't want to pull anything out.
Oh no, it won't pull out.
But, like, yeah, it looks like this. You can't see the little icons on it, but let me see if I can just do. Yeah, there you go. Well, you can't see the icons.
You might be able to hold it up. It's not going to pull out from the.
It's the light behind them. Anyway.
Oh yeah, I did that for you because I thought it'd be a little easier than having to try to read the little words.
Oh yeah.
So
it's like little emoji cons, like with like a bow in the hair. That's me, and John has like a little goatee and sunglasses and a palette next to him, and that's his shot. And everything. But anyway, like the like Drastic Art Measures logo thing that comes up. It's just, anyway, it's a process. So one of these days, it'll run like an organized production.
Well,
we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. But you know, it's all for fun. It's all for hanging out. I mean, it's one of the nice things, you know, about the internet now and all this is that, you know, before, if people were into art, you know, like you would go down to the local cafe or something, you know. I mean, you always think about like Paris, where, you know, you hear about all these artists and they would go to the cafe and they would, you know, drink their absinthe or whatever, or their, you know, or go to a coffee shop, or, you know, and just hang out with poets and painters and things. And, you know, in modern life and all, that's, you know, it's just hard for that, you know. And so many people live like in suburbia, or one person that's into that type of painting may live like in Seattle, another person lives in Dallas, another person lives in China, you know. But
yeah,
with the internet, though, we can all get together and hang out, and I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, technology is a good thing.
So on here, I'm just going over and over and over, and I'm not explaining a whole lot because it's a lot of the same stuff. So what I'm doing with this is I'm just trying to be kind of wispy. I don't know, is that a technical term?
Yes.
And you know, I'm just trying to be free flowing, but I'm not getting too crazy too quick because once you put a mark down like over something, you know, you could fix it, but it would just be so hard. You know, you have to repaint an arm or repaint a nose or something. So, you know, so I'm just trying to make it.
Yeah, I think you need to add, like, I mean, and you're probably not going to listen to me about this, but add like palette knife strokes, some thickness to it.
Uh-huh.
Almost kind of like how you did like the contour painting.
Oh yeah.
Like her hair, it's not a similar painting, but it's a woman and it's just her head, and her hair is all like crazy out here, and she's got a few strands going in the front, but I don't know if you used the palette knife with that, but the strokes, like the hair strokes, were really thick, and that was kind of fun.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe so. I mean, right now I'm just trying to get this part, you know, kind of to where it feels good, you know.
Yeah. So Laura Lee Ruff joined us. Brian joined us.
Well, thanks for joining us, guys.
Laura Lee said, "Wow, that is beautiful."
Oh,
and hey, ya from Utah.
Oh,
see, and that's the beauty of technology, right there.
Yeah.
All the way from Utah. That's awesome. Brian said Jackie, just Jackie. Which I'm kind of curious why Brian's not, you know, here hanging out, giving us his
Brian
random words of wisdom.
Yeah.
Wheels said yes, technology rocks. Oh. Brian asked if the front door was unlocked. I'm not going to tell you over the internet. Anyway. And Avon Captain joined us. So, but Jack is playing his games out there. I don't know if...
Is Brian here?
I don't think so.
Oh.
I don't know, Brian. Are you here?
Are you Facebooking from your car?
Yeah, are you Facebooking from the car?
How long have you been out there?
Well, unless because Jack's instructed not to answer the door, but usually...
Give me the password. It's me, Jack. Open up.
I don't believe you. Oh, he said I'm outside and it's cold.
Oh.
Pamela said, do you retain a mental image of each painting you've done? You answer that while I go check the door.
Okay. I think the door is open.
I know it is.
You know, I do. I remember it pretty well. You know, especially it's so nice whenever you know, if I haven't seen a painting in a long time, you know, like if it's one that maybe sold like 10 years ago, and then I'm over at the person's house, or or I've been a place where they have it, and I'm able to touch it again, and it's just all the memories come flooding back of the different colors and being able to feel the textures and all, and I don't know, that's so awesome. I don't know, I just love that. For some of the paintings, like a painting like this, I may not remember every color. Like, I remember all the colors I use. I may not remember exactly where they were. Although, I don't know. I got a weird memory. Like, it's hard for me to remember names sometimes, but I'll remember things like paint. Like that really well. Was that Brian?
Yeah, he was outside. So, yeah, he's here. I don't think he tried the door, though. I think he didn't know. Maybe he just didn't want to get out of his car until he knew for sure. Apparently it's cold outside. So Pamela asked, you feel the texture after it's dry? ?
Not as much. I mean, it depends. Like, there's some titanium whites that, especially with oil paint, titanium white still feels different when it dries, but for most of the paints I use, like the paints in these bottles, I've already mixed with mediums, and for most of them, and some of these other bottles too, like the little ones. But once they dry, they feel pretty much the same with the acrylic paints. But when they're wet, they feel different because I mix different mediums in with them. But it depends. For some paintings, I'll use different mediums for different looks and different effects. So sometimes, like, you know, some of the paint will feel very different than the other. Like, sometimes I use a special paint to draw with, and that feels very different than any other paint that I have. And so whenever I feel that, even if it's dry, I know that paint. So it just depends. There's some paints that feel very similar and some that are different. But with most of my paint, when it dries, it looks pretty. You can't really tell. It's really hard for me to tell the color. But when I feel the ridges and all that, I'll remember what color I put down usually. So
are you gonna put any strands of hair going across her face?
I was thinking about it.
I think you should, because I mean, like, just the hair going over her forehead looks a little awkward.
Yeah.
Without it kind of going a little bit of everything.
Everyone's a critic.
I'm his worst critic.
Well, no, I want to, but it's just I want to be careful though. So I've been kind of waiting and just sort of building it up, because once I do that, that's
That's it.
Yeah.
There's no turning back. Well, I should say Tiffany Wade joined us, Karen Lee, Mary Stubblefield, and
Hey Brian.
And Christy Bullock Whitmer joined us.
Oh my goodness.
Family.
Well, thanks so much, guys, for joining.
So.
Including you, Brian.
Yeah. Welcome.
Indeed. I would have been here sooner, but the restaurant that we went to made us sit around for an hour.
Oh no! Where did you guys go?
We tried that new ramen place that's on 288.
Yeah.
And it was packed.
Oh.
And I think they just lost our order.
Oh,
so
no.
we had to leave.
Oh.
And then we went and got tacos.
Oh, nice.
And the taco place gave us tacos when we asked for them. So.
Imagine that.
Where is the new ramen place on 288?
It is in that strip by the Walmart where like Office Depot and all that stuff used to be. It's in there.
Oh, Okay, cool.
I'm sure it's probably tasty, but like I think it's just like they're new and they're
Yeah,
getting
it's
slammed,
crazy.
and then they don't have, you know.
Yeah, Jack and I have a sort of ritual that we like to try all the ramen noodle joints that we come across. So ever since we went to California, years ago, because Jack's, he's a little kid, and you never know. They usually hate everything unless it's chicken strips or French fries. And so when we went to California, my brother was like, "Oh, we got to try this ramen noodle place. You love it." And I'm like, "I don't know if Jack's gonna like it, man. This is gonna be, that's not gonna be good. He's not gonna like it. I can see it now." And we got there, and Jack was like a fan. He virtually buried his face in the bowl. He was just like, and so ever since then, he's like on a mission to try all the ramen noodle joints that show up. And the craziest thing. And I think I mentioned, I know I told you this because you went with us when we went to karaoke last week, is that they have a ramen noodle joint right next to the karaoke bar that we went to that is also an arcade, which is nuts to me. Like, I kind of want to go there for my birthday.
We could.
So we're supposed to go to karaoke this Wednesday, because they do the birthdays up, and it's my mom's crowd. They're a blast. And so I'm kind of tempted to try to get out there early and go hit up the ramen arcade.
Oh, have you told your mom yet what you wanted for your birthday?
No. Well, I think I mentioned it in a previous show. But John got me my birthday present today, but it won't arrive until Sunday.
And then you'll be in the hospital Monday. It's good planning, really.
John bought me a longboard. So I'm going to learn how to skateboard. That's going to happen.
That'd be cool.
The deal, though, with it was, because I have all the gear from roller derby. Like, I have all the gear you wear. So I'm not worried about it, obviously. But I want to go, like, the thing is part of this present is also it's a present for Jack, because his bike got stolen, and now we're like...
Bike got stolen?
Yeah, it's a typical, like, you left it in the front yard. It's really our fault. So, but it was like a while ago, so we're finally probably going to replace it, and we'll go to the park together, and I'll learn to skateboard while he rides his bike. But I put Jack in a skateboard camp a year ago or 2 years ago, so I'm kind of hoping that he can at least, like, show me some skills.
Oh, that'd be cool.
It'll probably be a disaster, but who knows?
I bet it'll be fun. And you got the roller derby skills and whatnot. So you got all that.
Yvonne Captain said, "Hey guys, this is Yvonne Captain, Ron Captain's mom."
Hey.
That's very cool.
Well, thanks for joining us.
Yes, thank you. Love your paintings. Ron got me watching you. She enjoys painting too.
Oh well, thank you so much. That's awesome.
Oh, and Mary joined us. Mary from Artiste Winery.
Oh, really?
Amazing as always. Blast from the past. That's awesome.
That's awesome.
Good to see you.
Well, thanks so much for joining. That is awesome. Man, oh man.
So where did you guys get tacos?
We went to Fuzzy's.
Oh, Fuzzy's is always good.
Yeah.
Yeah, they renovated a couple years ago and like outfitted their bar in the back. That thing was nice. Very nice.
Someone's a rush.
Whatever. It's a little hair of the dog today.
Boy, trying to get the.
So what are you working on? Like, you put more hair?
Yeah. I want to get it a little bit better around her face. Get this stuff going on. I don't want to overdo it, but I don't want to underdo it. So.
But speaking of being a lush, we went to Steve's last night, and I did my wine tasting. That was nice. And the wines this month were excellent. I had a hard time choosing. Actually, it was really interesting. I mean, you're not into this, but regardless, I
love wine. What are you talking about?
They on their list this month, they had a sparkling wine, like a kind of a sweet wine, which I I don't do the sweet wines at all.
Oh, this was weird. Yeah, that's cool.
And the woman that was pouring it was like, okay, but you got to try it a certain way. And apparently, what they were doing is they would pour your glass, and then you take a sip of it, smell it and all that fun jazz. And take a sip of it, typical kind of sweet champagne taste, more sweet than traditional champagne. But then they gave you an jalapeno, and you drop the jalapeno in it, and you let that kind of sit for a bit, and then take another sip, and that was good enough. I actually bought a bottle. That was good. Yeah,
it was weird. It sounds kind of gross when you think about it, but then it cuts the sweetness. Like the sweetness, it doesn't really taste like a jalapeno so much, but you get a little tiny bit of the flavor, like a little of the pepperiness, but it's not hot, and but the sweetness just goes away. It's weird.
Well, and I love peppery wines, or like we had a party once, and John did a bunch of infused different liquors. Like you pour it, you put them in a container, and then you put different fruits, and like, oh my gosh, you tried everything. You did like Starburst, you did all kinds of wacky things for this party we were having, and one of them was
bubblegum one.
Yeah. Oh my god. Some of those were a little odd. And, but you did one that was like a tequila with jalapenos, and I think one with grapefruit, and then we I think it was grape, but I know there was a tequila infused with jalapenos, and man, that was good. I think the whole night we were drinking tequila and grapefruit with the jalapeno, and that was good.
Yeah, I made that for you. I'm not a big fan of the jalapeno drinks and stuff.
Yeah.
But
anything like peppery like that, I'm usually a fan of. I usually get the peppery wines or whatever.
Yeah, the other wine you got was a red, but it had a really heavy peppery taste.
Yeah, that was yummy. So, hence the hair of the dog, because of course you do the wine tasting, and then you gotta stick around for a glass, and then you've opened the bottle already. So it's downhill from there. But it was fun.
Good times.
Good times. So, Wheels says, yes, Fuzzy rocks. And Laura says, remind us what got you into painting with vision challenges. Why do you do what you do?
Well, let me find... This is... Alright, what's that? Oh, sorry. Anyway, I can't do two things at once. Apparently. I drew all my life, and I had a lot of health problems when I was a kid, but I never thought I would be a good painter. But I was born with epilepsy, and then I ended up getting had kidney problems, and then ended up getting Lyme's disease. But if I was having a bad day, drawing was a great way to deal with it, and good day drawing is a great way to deal with a good day. So good day or bad, I would draw, and it was just the way that I dealt with things, and I drew every day. And then when I was in college, I lost the eyesight, and I didn't think I'd be able to draw anymore. But then you start learning how to do, everything through touch. How to get around, like using a cane, and then how to be able to get around a room, and then how to get around a city. So I thought, if I can use a white cane and be able to leave like my apartment then, and be able to actually find the university, and not get ran over by a car, and not knock over too many people, then surely I could use those same techniques to get around a canvas. Just using touch. So I started working with paints that I could touch. I always used to draw, but now I needed to be able to actually touch the stuff. So the pens and pencils that I used before in charcoal didn't work anymore. So I started using paints, because paints, you can actually, it leaves a raised line or a raised material that you can feel. And the different, where are they? I got mediums right here somewhere. But the mediums that you add to the paint, you can actually make them feel even more different. And but art is a brilliant thing where, it's not about what you can't do. That doesn't even come into it. It's all about what you can do. And every artist, no matter if they're sighted or if they're not, or they do their art their own way. It's always individual. Like everybody has their own ideas, their own way of mixing it up and doing it. And I think that's just brilliant. It's about what you can do. taking what you have and making the most out of it. So it's just this very positive kind of mindset to be in. You know, and if you're going through something where it's a challenge for you, having anything that's going to put you in a positive mindset, it's a good thing. So art for me was my way of getting out of that really dark time.
Yeah, and you're still like, you're there. If John doesn't get his fix of painting, you'll get a little like antsy, and I wouldn't say irritable, but you're definitely like, you're
Push up, Jackie! No.
You definitely think there are times where it's like, you should just paint, just go paint.
I think Jackie just wants her me time.
Oh yeah. I'm the one out there with the kid.
That's true.
He's the one that comes back here and
this
locks
is true.
the door.
Yeah. Well, it depends.
The
If I'm working on something, 99.9% of the time the door's not locked. But if I'm working on something where I can't leave, and I don't want like Jack bouncing in, like, oh, I gotta do this because I can't. So, or if I can't have any distractions, then I'll it's nice to have a place where you can close yourself off and just know that you're distraction free. But usually though, like we have a couch in here and chairs, and I try to make it where the fam can come back and hang out. The dogs do. No,
the dogs will hang out with you. But
no. If I just get the family back here more.
Well, we would. It's a little bit of chaos. It's just kind of. But John's great. Like he tries to figure. Like this room has gone through like so many situations where we had a giant projector in the back, so we would watch movies back here while he painted, or gosh, we'd have people over and we'd have a movie night in here and stuff. So
yeah, it's like a paint.
The room, yeah.
I'm a little obsessed.
Yeah, the room's always, it's very transformable.
But it's nice having like good friends that understand too. Like Brian, he never like if I'm in there watching TV or something, and if I want to go and paint, like he's never been like, gee John, you want to hang out with me or anything? Yeah, I mean it's like he knows I'm crazy, so I mean it's nice to.
Well, Allison Thompson said, late to the party, but do you play violin?
I'm a master at the violin, but I won't play it for anyone. No. Yeah, no, I can't play the violin. I wish I could. I love.
Play a mean ukulele.
Yeah, even a nice ukulele I can play it. Any. I wish I could play the violin, and I love the violin. The has that soulful sort of tones, and in the history of the violin, where it's considered the devil's instrument for a while because it would incite such passion in people that it was unseemly, and it's just this incredible instrument. But I wish I could. I always thought it would be amazing.
Snack cakes out on people.
The devil's cake.
Jackie played the violin for a little bit.
I played the violin for 4 months in the 5th grade.
Ooh.
I know. I was brilliant.
And then they asked you to stop.
They asked me to leave.
You're like, that's enough.
Apparently I was a talker in school, and so I would just get everybody in trouble because I just talked. I didn't practice, whatever. I really wanted to play the saxophone. Like, I remember when I was a kid, there was that, you get into 5th grade, and they're like, okay, and everybody decide on the instrument you want to play, and I was like, oh man, I'm going to play the sax, that's going to be cool. And then we looked up how much it was to rent one. And my mom was like, nope.
You're playing the violin.
Nope.
I started with the trumpet, and because my lips all busted up, like I could never get like a great seal on it. So like all the scar tissue in my lips like doesn't let me do it.
Wow.
And then I took like 2 years of guitar lessons and learned absolutely nothing. Except that I like talking to the guitar teacher, I think is about what I learned. Hey man, how's it going? All right.
All right. Yeah, good. I took years of piano, and I don't remember any of it really. And it was always like scales. It was always scales. It was like, oh goodness, let's just learn some songs. It's just, but the ukulele is fun though. I mean, it's fun to get on YouTube. The hard thing with those others is that I wanted to learn how to play the guitar, so I got DVDs, and they were great. This is a long time ago when you could buy DVDs, I guess, to do these things, and then But there's always a part, you know, they'd explain everything, and then there was always this part, and they say, okay, now do this, and they would just show you.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh. So I bought another set of DVDs. They'd filled in some gaps, but then there was a part where they'd say, like, now do this. I'm like, oh, man. So I thought, well, maybe the guitar's not for me. And then I got a ukulele and discovered on YouTube, you can type in any song, and they'll have 100 people trying to teach you how to do it.
Yeah.
So you can go through all those videos, and eventually someone's going to fill in all the gaps. You know, and then you learn enough to where, you know, okay, I know 20 chords or whatever, and then, so then you can just get the music or whatever and start going from there. But that was awesome, because somebody will say, you know, very basically, put your finger 3 frets down, hold it hard, and then push this other finger right below, you know, very basic, like, you know, 'cause that's the way I needed to be taught, you know,
Yeah.
you gotta talk to me like a first grader,
What?
and I'll get it. But,
Well, YouTube is great for that. You can basically live your life via YouTube if you don't know what to do next.
I did I have a little ukulele that I would take around with me, and because it'll fit in your suitcase. So, you know, if I'm in the hotel and you're just, you know, kind of mindlessly not doing anything, you know, I could strum on that. And I was in Tokyo once, and I was in a hotel, and I went out on the balcony, and I was on the second floor, I think, and I was strumming it, and then I didn't realize, but a little crowd had formed on the street, because, you know, there's this American guy and sunglasses with a ukulele out there looking like he's really gonna start something, and then I realized, so there was like this murmuring below me of people.
That's so funny.
And then I was like, oh, hi. And I just waved, and then I went back in the room. Like, okay. But anyway, no show to follow. Anyway,
No encore. Sorry, guys.
that's my ukulele story.
So Karen Teeter joined us, and Wheels said one thing that he's noticed and is proud of you for is when he would do his shows.
Oh yeah.
You were super shy about speaking in public.
Oh
Which
yeah.
is hilarious.
I think I said some bad words to Wheels
And,
once.
and now you are not. So
Oh yeah.
that's behind you.
I'm so glad you brought that up, Wheels, because I wanted to say last time, thank you so much for making me do that, because I was, oh my goodness, I was so shy, so painfully shy to be able to talk in front of, you know, anybody, and I mean, you know, like that, and
Which I find it. I mean, I was there at the time. I remember all this. But knowing you, it's like, oh my gosh, he's a talker, man. So it's funny to think back that you ever had issues getting in front of the crowd and talking.
Well, Wills would put together these really cool shows, and he had art and music and all this stuff going on, and it was just really interesting stuff, and you know, it was awesome. And then he was so nice to include me with that, and I, you know, I would do the art, and he asked me, like, you know, again, can you go up and say a few words? And oh my goodness, it was like I mean, if
What, me?
yeah, if you know, it'd have been better if somebody had, like, you know, it had just attacked me with a loaded pistol or something, because I was just oh my gosh. But
Yeah.
but I got over it though, and if I'm talking about something that I'm kind of passionate about, like about art, or if it's about disability, you know, and disability awareness, then I can get up in front of a group and talk about that. But if I was just talking about myself, I'd probably be shy
it was
again.
Honestly, like, I mean, there's one particular, probably the very first time, and I think it was one of your it wasn't the very first art show, but it was like in the beginning, and you were just hanging art at the place, and didn't have, you were like, I'm gonna have some beers. You probably didn't expect to get up and
Yeah.
So
It's like, woo, woo, everything's hung. I'm done.
So that's pretty funny. I should say we are at the 30-minute mark.
Okay.
So,
Well, I'm just doing some more wisps, so I'm gonna finish this up here in the next little bit.
little 30 minutes.
Yeah.
So stick around. We are going to stick around, but if you're watching this on YouTube, like and subscribe and all that fun stuff. So here we go.
Thanks.